Hare Krishna. Question: does ISKCON's philosophy consider the English of the 1920s to be sacred? This question from Professor S.P. Rao. It says that I am a professor of English language and I have become interested in Krishna consciousness. But when I hear the discourses of the preachers, I find that most of them speak an outdated form of English which was used in the 1920s primarily. The words they use, the way they form their sentences, the way they convey their ideas, it is almost a century old. So does ISKCON's philosophy consider the period of the 1920s somehow sacred? That ISKCON is preserving that language in its preaching in 2014? And if it is so, why is that language considered sacred? Answer: no. It is not that the English of the 1920s is sacred. The reason for the slightly anachronistic nature of the language of ISKCON preachers is not is philosophical but circumstantial. The most ISKCON preachers learn philosophy in English language through the books written by Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada learned his English in the 1920s from the Scottish Church College where he went. And then in his later life he wrote the books. So most devotees learn philosophy for the first time by reading Prabhupada's books, and especially when they give discourses, they are also speaking philosophy which they have learned from the books. So along with speaking the philosophy, they also use the terms, they also form the sentences and convey ideas based on the way they have studied. Now this problem of an anachronistic language is especially there for those preachers who have learned English only by studying Srila Prabhupada's books. Many of them came from vernacular languages and then they learn English while being ISKCON by reading Prabhupada's books, and then their practical experience of English is mostly Prabhupada's English. So then in their case the problem is most acute. Now there are others who learned English in their schools but they studied philosophy not from any other books except Srila Prabhupada's books. So when they speak philosophy, they tend to use that language of the 1920s also. Although maybe in conversations they may sound less tilted and more like normal human beings. Now there are other devotees who read widely, even devotee books written by contemporary ISKCON devotees, and their language tends to be much more contemporary. So overall, this is a problem which you will find among a few preachers, but since you are from English background and English, the medium will seem as important for you as the message. So you can look for, if you want to hear classes, you can look for those preachers whose English seems sophisticated to you, especially many of Srila Prabhupada's Western disciples who learned the English in the Western world. Their English is quite good contemporary, and that may seem normal to you. And many of the younger devotees also who are well read, they in second generation teachers of ISKCON also who are well read, their English also tends to be contemporary. So in general, as long as ISKCON devotees don't read books other than Prabhupada's books, their language will seem stilted. But gradually things are changing. Devotees are also recognizing the need to be more contemporary, not only just in the language that they use, but more importantly in the methods in which they present. So that's why more and more devotees are writing books and more devotees are reading those books also. In addition to Prabhupada's books, they are also reading more contemporary books written by contemporary devotees using contemporary language. So as this sort of reading becomes more, especially among those devotees who are into preaching and teaching, then you will see that more overall the language will also become more contemporary and seem less anachronistic or outdated or stilted. Thank you. Hare Krishna.